Hey, so I'm just going to do a quick demo of multiplayer blueprint complex puzzle logic. I'm going to host game up here. As you see, it's just a simple main menu. You can select which of the puzzle rooms to go to. This vertical slice has most of it in it. I will host the game up here. I just want to show you the basic. I've done everything here from scratch. No marketplace assets for code, no plugins, just marketplace assets for 3D models, a lot of stuff from TurboSquid and stuff like that. So we'll join the session here, and every player has a ready up, which you see is reflected on all the other screens. So everybody has to be readied up. That's all working properly. And then I also have a system built in here. So the map is already loaded behind all the players, but nothing has done anything that needs all the players loaded in first, because the server will load in first, and then the clients join. So it'll wait for me to press launch session for a delegate to fire. So some of the puzzles were not initialized until all the players are loaded in and ready. I just wanted to show you we can demo the multiplayer elements of it this way. So the first puzzle I was assigned to do is this light bouncing on the ceiling here. You've got a chessboard over here with some pieces, and recently, the most recent thing we did after 6 months of working together was that I added the ability to place the chess pieces on the board and they'll slide into position. There's actually a separate timer for each piece, so I can, if I make this one go over here, they'll operate separately. And then once it's in place, you didn't notice it, but it swapped out. This is now a different puzzle. And all of that appeared in the sky. So if I interact with this, each of these pieces has some nice control. All of this is in Blueprint, so it'll trace along and follow the mouse up to the limits of where it can be placed, and then it'll snap into the center like that, nice and smooth, and the mirrored piece will follow its place. But then there's some blocking logic, for example, and then each one of these has a piece assigned to mirror it. And when I move them, these up here change. So these swords represent the direction the light will bounce. So if I move this piece here, what will happen is the light's going to come in from the side, go up, and then to the right, and then bounce down this way. I'll show you what I mean. So it's going up that way, then bouncing over, bouncing down. And it's not actually bouncing. These are individual lights that I've set up, and fake mirrors. And the idea is to get it to bounce the light down on one of these pyramids and extinguish this fire using magic. That's part of their story. The basic idea. It is a puzzle. Which I might not be able to solve off the top of my head right now, but I can show you the debugger. And just some basic particle effects usage. I have a nice Skyrim style item manipulation system here. You can also rotate with the mouse wheel, and you can throw things, and just ignore what's written on there. That's part of their puzzle system, their story writing stuff. Here we got this awesome light that I'm really proud of this effect here. This is using materials graphs and just math. No actual, the light itself isn't actually causing this effect. I'm using math, and this works with 3 different types of, I have text, I also have posters in the other room, which I can just demo. Well, okay, so there's another puzzle over here. You have to get all of these books into this bookshelf. See how it has slots for books, and you need to get the right 4, and there's a clue that tells you if you figure it out. So I'll just do the right ones. And some nice systems here for making sure that even if you click it on an occupied one, it'll go to another one. And if it's full, it'll go somewhere else. Now hopefully I remembered the right ones to use here. Which numbers? Ta-da! So that's 2 of the puzzles. We have some various interactable stuff here. You also see the pictogram system. That's right click, left click. So that's all programmed out by Scratch. And the throwing items also works with jumping. So I got player velocity as well as I think the mouse velocity. I just chucked that really far. I don't know. Some basic marketplace asset pack stuff that I've just thrown into the game here. It looks nice. There's a chest of drawers, which I did not add the pictogram system to yet. This was the more recent additions, making the items actually move with the drawers when the drawer opens. And these books have clues, same with clues on here. This is just decorations. Here's a resurrection wand. So, this character is going to go die. Let's watch. Oh, did I just drop the thing? I dropped the thing. Okay, here. Watch it from here. So I'm using a animation notify so that it hits at the peak of the swing. And we can go resurrect this guy over here. And when you're doing multiplayer testing, the mouse control gets taken over by different windows. So that works. Let's go back to full screen. There's some other random kind of like fake clues over here, just stuff from asset packs that we just added. I added. Let's see. That over there. These time pots. This is cool. So these 3 things here. As you see, we've got a seed. You can barely see the seed in there. Oh, there you go. You see the seed. And we've got a plant, and we've got an older plant. But if we move this over, the plant, older plant, and now a dead shrub. And it'll go, the dead shrubs will continue going. And you'd have to take it back through the time pots if you get what's going on here. It's basically aging and unaging as it goes through this sort of Ford factory, if you will. Oops. Put that over there. And a lot of different items work here. We've got this apple here for demonstration. So I did some material manipulation on basic stuff just to make it get darker and darker and more old and aged. And some of the clues, like this clue over here. This is that's a blank piece of paper. Maybe, no, it's the blank piece of paper, the one? I think it is. Let's see. Yes, this has stuff on it. Okay, no, this is just a clue of one of these pieces. I think it's the one in the drawer over here. Yeah. Is this? Oh no, that's just the clue. Yeah, clues. Okay, that's not what I'm showing to you. It's good stuff. Let's check this out. I did a little bit of set decoration in here. Had some fun with this. Just like one day spent just dressing it up a bit. Just want to make sure I didn't skip any other puzzles in here. I think we're good. There was another really cool puzzle of a scales in here that I can't demo right now because we took it out and replaced it with just this keypad over here and a clue about this frog, and it's an audio cue croaking the numbers that you need to put in. So that's just a keypad over here, and we haven't. I never did the 213 lighting up on the numbers there. That would be some material manipulation work. So these are really cool. These are some flasks and different measuring cups. And we've got like a recipe list over here, which I can kind of ignore because that's just content. And these posters that work with the lamp that also are content, but it'll demonstrate the cool use of this lantern over again. And that works in hand and in the real world. Or real world, in the game world. And it does this too. I can place it on here, automatically facing there, and it gives you the secret true recipes that you're supposed to use. So these symbols line up to these vials over here, and you can fill like a measuring cup with this different sizes written on them. And we did a lot of, I did a lot of mesh work, modeling, alteration, and using asset pack stuff. Actually, the liquid filling and unfilling was originally an asset pack material that I've just repurposed for a bunch of different stuff. So we can pour this into the flask, and we can combine it with other, like, that has one symbol on it. Here's another one. And the blueprint logic will keep track of how many different portions of different materials are in. And there's a little bit of color change there, but with such bright colors you can't really tell. It's something Visual Pass was never done. It's like the decoration of this room is the first touch on Visual Pass. So, just want to show off. You can mix them all together in different ways, but then you also have to process them. One of the processes is adding water to it, which is just one of the ingredients. One of the processes is this distillery over here, which has to have an empty flask loaded in there, or else it won't work. And let me show you something else. So, if I try to use it, it'll give me a... I say no. There should be an error sound if I use an empty one here. Like, this is the wrong... No? Okay, I think I reworked the interactivity of that. There is an error sound on the furnace. I have tried that recently. So, put that in. Nice furnace sound. I did that animation and repurposed this asset pack to give it a lid. Like, it had a lid, but it wasn't animated or anything, so I added that. Now we have some distilled gold or something. One of those materials. And so this puzzle over here has a clue. You can interact with these to see them up close. And it's basically a time puzzle. If you've ever seen hourglasses, again, I took this liquid material and repurposed it into a kind of like prototype hourglass. And so these are timed. It says 7 moments and 11 moments. So that the player can't just use a stopwatch. And you're supposed to, like, do that kind of like a puzzle where you flip it around when this one ends and that one, like, then, that kind of stuff. And the idea is that the logic behind will check that at least you've used these one time to make sure you're not just using a stopwatch. That was their idea. But this has to be lit, and if you see in the corner, I actually have the print string. That's still for debugging purposes, and I've changed it to be a lower limit, so I could just get right past. But yeah, you have to like have it lit for the exact number of seconds, and the other player is supposed to be over here timing it. And I've worked it so that it'll just make easy mode just like that. So the furnace is now active, and I can put this in it. And now this is some calcinated distilled gold. And eventually, if you do the right combination of things, you get a potion. I wonder if I can debugger night solve puzzle. Yeah, there we go. So if you have like a potion of steel skin, it'll make the night blow up when. And some of the skeletal mesh ragdolling is obviously Visual Pass work in progress. But that was fun. I did that from an asset pack from scratch as well. It came with separated meshes. I just did some ragdoll work. The idea is that it would swing its sword at you and then fall apart when it hits you. So that would be one of the exits. I think that may be all of the puzzles in here. They all intertwine. Like one solution to one puzzle gives you the clue for the next puzzle. Yeah, there are a couple other puzzles in this whole thing. There's a really interesting one using time, which I think I can show off real quick. Let's see if I can just go back to the main menu. So, time divergence. And let's see if the other players... to menu, escape to menu. I'll host it on here. I wonder... Hopefully this all still... I haven't used this puzzle in a while. Let's use the same character, so we may have to call it a night here if some of the logic was never reworked to use this puzzle room. But let's check. The host exists in one timeline, and the other players exist in another timeline. So as you see, this wall over here is open in the other players. And now this is really complex for Unreal Engine because it involves collision and multiplayer. So did you see there was a little bump on that one screen? Because in one world there is physics, and it has to like correct for that fact in the other world. And so, yeah, I'm walking through from the server's opinion because they're in the past, and this is in the future. So this is some of the most complex stuff that I mean, like, technically speaking, if you know what's going on with Unreal Engine, because the physics and collisions being server-side, and then the clients having separate values for those, can get kind of wonky. So you've got a glass of water and a hammer over here, and you've got a lock. I mean, it's been a while since I even tried to figure out this puzzle, or to program it. So let's see. This one, the glass is empty, and there's a hammer, so this guy has to take the glass and splash it on the water. And now in the future, we have ourselves a rusty lock. Do you see that? How it is a rusty material? Okay, so then I will smash it. There we go. And in the past, it has not been smashed. So I could like drop something on there. I also have the hammer. I just took it from him because now I'm in the past. So the objects are continuous like that. So even though I'm in the future, I pick it up here. In the past, it's still there because the future doesn't change the past, but the past will change the future. So I've picked that up, but if I pick it up in the past and I place it over there, that's where it'll be in the future. Pretty freaking cool, huh? Let me show you on this side a little bit clearer. So this is the future over here. The future does not affect the past, but the past affects the future. So yeah, and then so yeah, you can, again, with the collision, the past can drop this here, and it does not go through. And since it did not go through in the past, it won't go through here, but the future can drop it here, and it's inside. And the past, it did not move because the future does not affect the past. We've got something similar going on here with this gate, but I think I'll let you go for now. I hope you appreciate this video, and I'll try to send you another one about my RPG in the near future. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.